Good day to all. Today I have come up with yet another topic from strategic management, that is BCG Matrix, or it's also known as Boston's Consultancy Group Matrix. This is one of the most renowned corporate portfolio matrix which was developed by Bruce D. Henderson during the year 1970. So BCG matrix basically it says where an organization or where a business sits with relation to other business organization with regard to their market growth and market share. So that is a comparison with other business organization. Imagine a company is having more than one product line. What is a product line? Product line is a group of related products that a company sells under one single brand name. For example, consider Apple. Apple is having so many product lines like Apple is having iPhones, they are having iMac, they are having iPods, AirPods. So these are different product lines. So BCG matrix says which are the product line in which we have to invest more, which are the product line which has to be removed from a business, or it also says which are the product line in which we have to put on more strategies for the development. So basically, this BCG matrix it says about the growth rate and the market share of a business. So this BCG matrix is actually known as growth share matrix because it's saying the relationship between market growth and market share. So it's otherwise known as market share matrix. So considering this, I'll tell you what BCG matrix is. It is a graph. See, this is the BCG matrix diagram of BCG matrix here. It is a graph with y-axis representing the market growth. This is the market growth, y-axis which represents, and the x-axis represents its relative market share. So it is market share with x-axis. And this graph is divided into 4 quadrants: star, cash cow, question mark, and dog. So this is divided into 4 quadrants as well. So this x-axis is representing relative market share and the y-axis is representing the market growth rate. Okay, and it is divided into 4 quadrants. And this x-axis, this market growth rates indicate that the rate of investment or the cash which is used by a business organization, whereas the market share shows the revenue or the profit that an organization is getting from those product lines or from the products which they are selling. So this shows the expenses and the market share shows the revenue. Okay, so this is the graph which representing the BCG matrix in another way. Now let's consider these 4 quadrants separately. First one is star. Where is the star present? It is here. Star shows it is positioned with higher growth rate and with higher market share. So both, like, it is in the place where both the market share as well as the market growth rate is high. That means there is more expenses as well as the return is also more. So when comparing that both, what happens is we get a profit. Means profit margin will be high when a product is positioned in the or is categorized under the star quadrant. Okay, so from the BCG matrix, what we can understand is how much the product growth rate is or how much the product has penetrated into the market can be identified from the BCG matrix. Imagine you're going to increase the growth rate of an organization. You're going to increase the growth rate. So what will happen? You will have to invest more money. Investing more money means there is more expenses. At the same time, when we consider the market share, when there is high market share means you get a lot of revenue, you get more profit or income is more. So high revenue shows market share. So in the product which is categorized under this star quadrant means the profit margin is very high. Okay, so these are the product which an organization wish that all the product line will move towards the star quadrant. Okay, now let's consider the other one, that is cash cow. Cash cow is a position or it is in such a place where the market growth rate is very low but the market share is very high. See, growth rate is very low but market share is very high. That means what? You don't have to invest much. the growth rate is low means the product is showing a very slow or a very stagnant growth rate. That is, the product has almost reached its maturity stage. You don't have to invest much on those products. The product is well aware. It is having lots of sales in the market. So it is generating lots of revenue to the organization. So what they can do is the revenue which they get from the cash cow segment, the product line which is in the cash cow, it produces lots of revenue, so they can spend those money in other categories, like in they can spend for the star, or they can spend for question mark, and for all those category they can utilize the money which they get from the cash cow segment. Why? Because the product has almost crossed its growth and introduction phase. The product is now in the maturity phase. People are aware the market rate is very high. Market share is very high in the cash cow category. Okay, so it means that there is very high revenue in the cash cow, and the expenses in those product lines are very less. Company don't have to spend much on products which are in the cash cow category. Okay, now let's consider this dog category. Dog category means, like we have already mentioned, like cash cow, wherein the growth rate is very low. But in the dog category, both the factors, that is the growth rate as well as the market share, both the factors are very low. What does that mean? When growth rate is low or the market share is low, means the people are not interested in buying that product. Okay, when market share is very low, that is, people are not interested in buying that product. So is there any meaning spending money on that? No, there is no meaning spending money on those products where people are not interested to buy. So here we don't have to invest much on such products, because people are not willing to buy it. So they have to be removed from the business because they don't generate any money for the business. So the product line which is categorized under the dog category can be removed from the business. Those products can be removed because they are almost in the declining stage or dead stage of the product life cycle. When you consider this, I'll just tell you the product life cycle. You know the product life cycle. This is the introduction phase, growth, maturity, and decline. This is a graph which represents a product's life cycle. So here, the question mark category in BCG Matrix, there are 4 categories, like 4 quadrants: question mark, star, cash cow, and dog. So the product which is coming in the introduction phase are those which are categorized in the question mark. The star category product are those which are in the growth stage. That products are in the growth stage. Cow is in the maturity stage. That is why they are earning lots of revenue to the organization. And dogs are those products which have almost outdated, or they are almost out from the market. So they have to be removed. Nothing much has to be invested, nor much strategy has to be put on those products in the dog category. Okay, so these are the 3. I believe you got an idea about these 3 quadrants. And now the last one is the question mark category. Question mark category are those wherein the growth rate is very high, but the market share is very low. When the growth rate is very high means you have lots of expenses. You have to put a lot of money into the business because the growth is very high. When you launch a new product, okay, people are not aware about those products. So what you have to do? You have to make them aware. So more money, more investment is required when you're introducing a new product. The business people are unaware whether the product will hit the market or whether it will be a successful product. So that is why new introduced products are categorized under this question mark category. Okay, so like for example, when you see like September 2021, next month, Apple iPhone 13 is going to be launched. It is a new product. They're not aware. So they are promoting, or they're going to promote the product in such a way that it is at present that iPhone 13 is in question mark category. It is about to be launched. So now they're spending a lot of money on those items. So now that is in the question mark category. So once it is launched, gradually it may move to the star category. Star means market share also will be high. They'll start business. They'll start getting business. People come to know about the product. They start buying the product. So slowly it will move to the star category. So what the business people are looking is, they are wishing, or what the organization is looking is, to move all their product towards the star category, because the growth rate is also high and market share is also very high. So they wanted a high profit margin. So all of the organization are moving or trying to move their product towards the star category. So these are the four things. So these are the four quadrants which I explained you now. So this question marks comes here in this quadrant, or this category is segmented for the products which are going to be introduced. These are those which are in the growth stage. These are in the maturity stage, and these are in the declining stage. So what happens? The dog category product has to be removed from the market. So it's a kind of circle, and in the cash cow, lots of expenses are generated. Lots of income is generated, and that money can be utilized for these both categories, for the question mark and star category. The money can be invested, which we get from the cash cow. Okay, so this is all about BCG matrix. So, before let's conclude. So, what this BCG matrix is, it gives us. So, these are the four categories. So, what this BCG matrix says is, it gives us a holistic picture about, and it will guide a business in making future decisions or in making future strategies. So, this BCG matrix is useful for the business for their strategic decision making for the future. Product life cycle means it just tells about the life cycle of a single product, whereas when comparing with BCG matrix, it says about the life cycle, or it says about the whole product line. Okay, so product line means a group of related products that a company sells under a single brand name. So BCG matrix is related to product lines, whereas product life cycle is related to only one product. So here what they say is, we need to focus on the products which are in the star category, or the organization they tend to move all their product lines to these star category, so that they get high revenue and they get high market growth rate. And the product from the dog has to be removed so that their expenses can be reduced. So I believe you got a little bit idea about what this BCG matrix is actually about. In my next video, I'll be coming up with yet another topic from strategic management. So till then, thank you.